Welcome. Today we will be reading lesson 259 in the workbook, and from the text, chapter 22, section 1, the message of the holy relationship, paragraphs 6 through 11. And now for lesson 259. Let me remember that there is no sin. Sin is the only thought that makes the goal of God seem unattainable. What else could blind us to the obvious and make the strange and the distorted seem more clear? What else but sin engenders our attacks? What else but sin could be the source of guilt, demanding punishment and suffering? And what but sin could be the source of fear, obscuring God's creation, giving love the attributes of fear and of attack? Father, I would not be insane today. I would not be afraid of love, nor seek for refuge in its opposite. For love can have no opposite. You are the source of everything there is, and everything that is remains with you, and you with it. It is only the belief in sin that illusions are given life. Sin hides one's awareness of the truth. Sin clouds the obvious and makes the totally unbelievable seem to be believable. Sin makes anger and attack appear to be appropriate. Seeing one guilty of sin, pain and punishment seem justified. In the anticipation of future punishment is where fear is born. Fear is but the denial of love and the ego's attack on reality itself. Yet today would one restore one's sanity from the madness of the separated self. Let one not fear love today, for love knows no opposites, and what has no opposites cannot be opposed in any real way. And now for our text reading for today, from chapter 22, section 1, the message of the holy relationship, paragraphs 6 through 11. Of all the messages you have received and failed to understand, this course alone is open to your understanding and can be understood. This is your language. You do not understand it yet, only because your whole communication is like a baby's. The sounds a baby makes and what he hears are highly unreliable, meaning different things to him at different times. Neither the sounds he hears nor sights he sees are stable yet. But what he hears and does not understand will be his native tongue, through which he will communicate with those around him, and they with him. And the strange, shifting ones he sees about him will become to him his comforters, and he will recognize his home and see them there with him. So in each holy relationship is the ability to communicate instead of separate, reborn. Yet a holy relationship, so recently reborn itself from an unholy relationship, and yet more ancient than the old illusion it has replaced, is like a baby now in its rebirth. Still in this infant is your vision returned to you, and he will speak the language you can understand. He is not nurtured by the something else you thought was you. He was not given there, nor was received by anything except yourself. For no two brothers can unite except through Christ, whose vision sees them one. Think what is given you, my holy brother. This child will teach you what you do not understand, and make it plain. For his will be no alien tongue. He will need no interpreter to you, for it was you who taught him what he knows, because you knew it. He could not come to anyone but you, never to something else. Where Christ has entered, no one is alone, for never could he find a home in separate ones. Yet must he be reborn into his ancient home, so seeming new and yet as old as he, a tiny newcomer, dependent on the holiness of your relationship to let him live. Be certain God did not entrust his Son to the unworthy. Nothing but what is part of him is worthy of being joined. nor is it possible that anything not part of him can join. Communication must have been restored to those who join, for this they could not do through bodies. What then has joined them? Reason will tell you that they must have seen each other through a vision not of the body, and communicated in a language the body does not speak. Nor could it be a fearful sight or sound that drew them gently into one. Rather, in each the other saw a perfect shelter where his self could be reborn in safety and in peace. Such did his reason tell him. Such he believed because it was the truth. Here is the first direct perception that you can make. You make it through awareness older than perception, and yet reborn in just an instant. For what is time to what was always so? Think what that instant brought. The recognition that the something else you thought was you is an illusion. And truth came instantly to show you where yourself must be. It is denial of illusions that calls on truth. For to deny illusions is to recognize that fear is meaningless. Into the holy home, where fear is powerless, love enters thankfully, grateful that it is one with you who joined to let it enter. Christ comes to what is like himself, the same, not different, for he is always drawn unto himself. What is as like him as a holy relationship? And what draws you and your brother together draws him to you. Here are his sweetness and his gentle innocence, protected from attack. And here can he return in confidence, for faith in another is always faith in him. You are indeed correct in looking on your brother as his chosen home. For here you will with him and with his Father. This is your Father's will for you, and yours with his. And who is drawn to Christ is drawn to God, as surely as both are drawn to every holy relationship, the home prepared for them, as earth is turned to heaven. We are reminded in this section that one is new to the ideas of the Course, and one is learning a new kind of language, which is truly understandable. For this language allows one to develop a vision that sees oneself and others as they truly are, and not as the something else one thought one to be. And this vision, which sees the sameness in everyone, allows one to join with others and recognize the shared self. It is in this shared self that one's home is found. Communication has been restored with the other through vision of each other, not of the body, and spoken in a language the body does not know. This vision awareness, which existed before perception, is born in the holy instant.